Hello, everyone. American Sports 365. Here with me once again is my colleague Alex. So, Arsenal played two more games and thankfully won both of them, absolutely destroying Lyon 6-0 in the Champions League. So, Arsenal now through the last 16 as Group B winners. Arsenal also beat Wolves 2-1, so Arsenal remain at the top of the Premier League, 2 points clear of Liverpool and 3 points clear of Manchester City. So, definitely two good wins. So, what are your thoughts on these two games?
Yeah, definitely two good wins for Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree. The win against Lund was a lot more emphatic than I expected. I expected Arsenal to win that game, especially after losing to Lund. Outside Manchester City, we haven't really lost to the same opponent multiple times in a row in recent years. Um, and Arsenal were amazing in that game. And against Wolves, I think Arsenal really did dominate that game. The scoreline just looked close because of one mistake from Trichenko, really. But yeah, that wasn't a close game at all. Now, in terms of the defense, I think it was good overall both games. Obviously, kept a clean sheet against Lon, and Lon only had three shots on target and didn't really trouble Arsenal very much. I think Arsenal did a much better job against Wahi in that game after he played very well against Arsenal, and the end that Mons won 2-1. And then against Wolves, I think it was good overall again. Also, only three shots on target from them. Fortunately, Jacob made a bad mistake, which led to a Wolves goal. But overall, I think the defense was quite good in both games. So, what are your overall thoughts on Arsenal's defense in both these games?
Yeah, I think except for Zinchenko's unfortunate error, the defense was good overall in both matches.
Yeah, I agree. I think Arsenal defended well in both games, and honestly, really probably should have kept a clean sheet against Wolves as well because I think the defense overall was good in that game. Just they capitalized on one mistake from Zinchenko. I think Tomiyasu has been really, really good for Arsenal's defense since coming in. Obviously, Ben White is not back up to full fitness yet, so he's not been starting games lately. But Tomiyasu has done a really good job defensively, and also has gotten a couple assists as well. So he's definitely making a difference in terms of Arsenal's attack as well. So it's good to see him play really well, and it's good to see Arsenal have more defensive depth this season because that was definitely a problem with Arsenal last season, especially after, fortunately, Saliba and Tomiyasu got both injured in both the same game. But yeah, I think the defense was good overall in both games. Now, in terms of the midfield, I think it played well in both games. Arsenal only had 48% possession against Lyon, but controlled the game overall, and I think a lot of midfielders played well. Uh, Rice did very well, as per usual. Havertz scored against Lyon, and Odegaard scored in both games. And then against Wolves, Arsenal had 56% possession, and Odegaard scored again. Rice, very good game, but Havertz was decent. But yeah, I think the midfield played well despite those possession stats against Long. So, what are your thoughts on Arsenal's midfield in these two games?
Yeah, again, it's hard to find much fault in the midfield. I think it's especially encouraging to see Havertz play well. Hopefully, he can continue his good run of form, and hopefully, it's more than just a run of form. It's really just him starting to realize his potential in an Arsenal shirt. We'll see, but again, overall, midfield was solid, really quite good.
Yeah, I agree. It's good to see Odegaard start to return from the form after being out with injury for a bit. Bryce continues to be excellent. I know more positive things I can say about him. He's been outstanding, and yeah, Havertz has been better lately. I think his performance against Lon was his best performance of the season. To be honest, I think he scored the first goal, which was important, and getting Arsenal going in that game, and scored the winner against Brentford. So I think he's really starting to get comfortable with Arsenal. Obviously, it was a big shift, and it's taking him some time to settle down, but hopefully he'll continue to play well moving forward. But yeah, I think the midfield is really good, and as I said, hopefully Havertz can continue this good form, and it's not just a purple patch of a couple games where he plays well. Now, in terms of the attack, I think it was good overall in both games. It was absolutely devastating against Lawn. I mean, they just got absolutely smashed in that game. I think they quickly regretted making the game as open as they did because there's a reason why a lot of teams play a low block against Arsenal. Um, yeah, so it was absolutely devastating that game. I think it was good against Wolves as well. 2 goals from 6 shots on target, so it could have been a little bit more efficient in that game, but Arsenal scored 6 goals from 8 shots on target against Lens, so extremely efficient in the game, and honestly could have had more than 6 goals in that game. Saga scored in both games. Jesus played well in both games and scored against Lon. I think Bornelli was pretty good in both games. We didn't actually score in either one, but yeah, I think the attack was obviously really good against Lon, and then did enough against Wolves, although definitely missed some chances in that game. So, what are your thoughts on Arsenal's attack in these 2 games?
Yeah, I agree. It was absolutely devastating against Long and against Wolves. Could have been a bit better, but still got the job done.
Yeah, I agree. I think um, yeah, against Lon it was absolutely devastating. They decided to play really aggressively against Arsenal, and as I said, that was a mistake. And they quickly paid for it rather emphatically. So yeah, the attack was absolutely overwhelming in that game. And yeah, against Wolves, I think it was good. Could have been a little bit more efficient. Definitely missed some chances. But yeah, I think it was good overall in that game. And Arsenal attack did enough against Wolves for sure. Just completely blew on away.
Yep.
So in terms of manager ratings, I'll have to give Arteta 10 out of 10 against Long. I mean, it's a 6-0 win. I don't really know what else I could possibly give him in that game. And then against Wolves, I gave him an 8 out of 10. I think Arsenal obviously completely dominated the game against Lon. Like played well overall against Wolves, but I think Arteta deciding not to sub off Zinchenko was definitely a mistake. Because Zinchenko's mistake led to Wolves' goal, and he was kind of playing a little bit sloppily before that. So I think that's something Arteta should have addressed. But yeah, I think overall Arsenal played well and defended really well overall in both games. And attack was good, and yeah, midfield played well as well. So yeah, definitely good ratings for Arteta in both games. So what are your thoughts on those manager ratings?
Yeah, I think I really agree. I think you got it spot on. You can't. I mean, Arteta was pretty much faultless against Long, and then his main mistake in the other match was, not subbing out Zinchenko.
Yeah, I agree. I think yeah, like I said, I think Checo was looking a little bit sloppy against Wolves, so yeah, I really think Arteta should have subbed him off, prevent a mistake like that from happening. But yeah, overall, I think he did a fantastic job against Sloan. Really took advantage of how open they decided to make the game. As I said, that was certainly a tactical mistake from them. And I think Arteta did a good job overall against Wolves, and aside from subbing off Zinchenko, which is something I think he should have done. I think he did a good job in that game as well.
Yep.
So there you have it, 2 wins and 2 for Arsenal. Arsenal through the last 16 of the Champions League after a dominant win against Lens, so that's good to see. And Arsenal remain at the top of the Premier League with a 2-1 win against Wolves. Arsenal play Luton Town in the Premier League next, which should certainly be a win because I think Luton are one of the weakest teams in the Premier League. So I think Arsenal will not only win that game, but most likely dominate it.
Yep.